It says, وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي. Untie the knot, afflicting my tongue. Untie the knot that is hurting my tongue. Now a knot is not in a tongue. Where's a knot? In a string. Shoestrings have a knot. Wires have a knot. Right? Thread has a knot. So what does the knot have to do with the tongue? What is this expression about? They say, first of all, when you have imagine a string, it's all jumbled up. Right? It's all like one thing going into the other, like your cables. Do you know how long it is when it's like that? No. Do you know where it begins and where it ends necessarily? No. Sometimes 3 different wires are mixed together. You're holding the wire like, which one is this one? You have to untangle it to see which one is which one, right? In other words, when wires are tangled together, when string is tangled together, the idea is that things are confusing. When you untangle them and you straighten it out and every string is separated, then things become what? Clear. Untie the knot in my tongue, the first meaning of it is, give me clarity in speech. When I speak, sometimes I'm not clear. When I speak, sometimes everything is mixed up together. This is the dua of Musa a.s. when he was going to speak publicly, when he was going to speak in front of Fir'aun. You know, some of you, when you have to speak publicly, you get nervous. Some of you came up to the mic and you spoke, and you're very brave, but some of you, you're thinking about coming and you're asking yourself, what's going to happen? People will see me. He might say something. People might laugh. I will die. Like there are a lot of questions you're asking, and when you do speak publicly, you get super nervous, and you start getting like confused, and and I used to be like that too. I had a really hard time speaking in public. I don't have a hard time anymore because I pretend all of you are gummy bears. And none of it doesn't mean anything to me anymore, right? So, but when you are speaking publicly, you can become confused. Now, some of you do presentations for work. And you have a PowerPoint presentation, and you have notes in your hand, 20 pages, and this and that, and you go there, as soon as they put the mic on you, you're like, You had point A, B, C, D, and E, you ended up doing X, W, P, K, 4, 37, and came back down and say, how was it? No clarity in speech. He's saying, "Uhlul uqdatan min lisani," because he's asking Allah, Ya Allah, I want to have clear speech. So anybody who hears me knows where it began and where it ended. A clear beginning, a clear middle, a clear end. It's heading in a straight line. You see? This is a part of the construction of speech. Sometimes, for example, you hear a khutbah and at the end of it you have no idea what just happened. At least those of you that were awake. He said a lot of things, but I don't know what he actually said. And it's true, I do listen to a lot of ministers, preachers. I listen to them. And for a lot of them, you can listen to them for an hour, and at the end of it, if you were to ask me, what did he talk about? I'll say, I have no idea. He said a lot of things though. There's no clarity in the speech. You have friends like that. Your friends can talk to you for 30 minutes on the phone. And at the end of it, you'll say, what are you saying? And you're afraid to ask, because they'll try to explain to you in another 30 minutes and not say anything at all. Uhlul uqdatan min lisani, untie the knot in my tongue, give me clarity in my speech. It's beautiful because it actually covered the literal and the figurative together. Literally, it also means that I get tongue-tied. In other words, Musa a.s. had a stutter. So he couldn't pronounce words, he gets stuck. And people who have a stutter, and they have that kind of problem in their speech, when they get angry, it gets worse. When they get nervous, it gets worse. And when they're under pressure, it gets worse. Musa a.s. is going to be under a lot of pressure because he has to debate with Fir'aun. Fir'aun, by the way, one of the savviest politicians. Can you imagine someone who has a stutter in their speech is going to go on national television and speak against one of the most aggressive journalists? This guy's going to get slaughtered. So he's just asking Allah, Ya Allah, I have a knot in my tongue, just give me clarity. The other thing that's really important here, and we'll see that on Sunday night, the explanation of وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي. If you talk to a really smart politician in a debate, which Fir'aun is a really smart politician, then they know how to throw you off. Like you came and you prepared your speech and you were going to talk about this, but they came you question, attack you this way, that way, the other way, and you're like, oh, what's going on? I'm confused. Where do I go? Sometimes you don't know how to answer the questions, how to navigate them, because you're just getting attacked, and Fir'aun is very good at attacking. So even a normal person who knows what they're talking about would get confused. This happens on television all the time, right? They'll invite an academic or a scholar, someone who knows what they're talking about, but the host of the show, like in America we have the Fox TV channel, right? You have the host who will attack this guy from every angle, and even though this guy knows what he's talking about, he got confused and he looked stupid in front of everyone. And they're very good at making you look bad. They're very good at that. Fir'aun is going to be very good at that. And Musa a.s. is going to walk into his court on his terms, and he's going to have to deal with him directly. That's not going to be easy. So he asked Allah, Ya Allah, I need clarity in my speech. I can't afford to stutter. Because if I stutter even a little bit, he'll say, what happened? Oh, you can't talk? You can't answer my question? You got nervous? What's going on? Why can't you do it? And he actually did it. Musa a.s. was speaking with him, and he said, this guy, وَلَا يَكَادُ يُبِينُ, he can't even clearly speak. Look at him stuttering. He's going to debate with me? That's literally what he did. Imagine that happening to you in a conversation. Hey, what's the matter with you? You can't talk? Huh? This is what Fir'aun is doing to Musa AS. This is one of my favorite du'as actually. وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي. Why? Because this du'a helped me in public speaking. My teacher told me, use this du'a when you're about to go give a talk. I do it every time. And when I don't do it, you can tell. Nobody knows what I talked about. Nobody knows. The first time I went to speak, I had these notes prepared. 5 pages of notes for a 15-minute khutbah. And I was gonna, and I got up there and the words on the page crawled away. And I'm like holding this thing like, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, where is it, where is it, where does he say it, where does he say it? And at the end of the khutbah and the salah, I made a mistake in the Fatiha, I was that nervous. I started with the surah. When they had to correct me, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I'm like, oh yeah, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It was horrible. And when the khutbah was done, people came up to me and patted me on the shoulder. It's okay. It's okay. That was like a condolence at the end of my first khutbah. But then I realized the value of وَحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي. It's the dua of confidence.